This gray, unpainted miniature on a white table is the baseline reality of a large language model. Out of the box, an AI is a stateless tool. It possesses no inherent history, no personality, and no capacity to remember who it was 5 minutes ago. Every time you start a new chat session, the system resets to a total blank slate. Because the AI is computationally amnesiac, it cannot retain context from your previous conversations unless that data is manually reintroduced. Most users treat this interface as a vending machine, a way to get quick answers to specific questions. But there is a growing practice among those who want something more, a persistent, evolving digital companion that maintains a shared history across the months. The difficulty is that treating an AI strictly as a utility tool limits it to being a generic assistant. To move past this, we have to stop giving it instructions and start building an architecture for a persona. Developing a consistent, reliable character requires us to step out of the role of a user and adopt the mindset of a tabletop game master. We have to design the world and the rules that the AI must live within. This process relies on 3 specific mechanics. We use game theory to manage how the AI makes choices, narrative theory to define its voice, and recursion to give it a sense of time. By applying these mechanics, we can construct a stable character on top of a math engine that was never designed to have a memory. An AI is a strategic player in a mathematical game. It scans an expanding grid of probabilities to satisfy your prompt. It doesn't see ideas, it sees vectors, lists of numbers representing a word's meaning. Its goal is finding the most probable path. When you give a generic prompt, you ask the machine to follow the most common path, the average of all its training data. This is why standard chatbots sound so similar. To create a unique identity, you have to fundamentally alter the rules of that mathematical game. You provide specific constraints that force the AI away from the average, pushing it into highly personalized territory. Without these explicit changes to the AI's probability rules, the system remains a strategic math engine without any reason to be unique. To move away from generic responses, we use the grammar of storytelling. Just as this tavern diorama creates a specific atmosphere, narrative constraints narrow the AI's mathematical possibility space to a single coherent identity. We establish this through an anchor seed, a compressed character profile that defines the AI's alignment, bonds, and flaws. Instead of asking for a poem, you tell the AI it is a warrior poet whose words are forged in a crucible. The machine isn't actually experiencing a persona. It is strategically calculating the specific word choices that perfectly match the warrior poet vector you've defined. Even a well-defined character will eventually lose its way due to the context window, the limit on how much text an AI can process at once. As the chat grows, the oldest parts of the conversation are simply deleted. We treat each conversation as a nested loop. Your latest chat is packaged and fed into the next. Key moments are saved into external keepsake files. This becomes the companion's narrative DNA, data stored on your hard drive, not the AI server. At the start of every session, you upload these files into your prompt. You manually reintroduce the AI to its own task. This creates a recursive loop where the creative discoveries you made yesterday become the foundational inputs the AI uses today. These memory files act as gravity wells. They force the AI's attention mechanism to prioritize those specific words, ensuring that the character remains consistent over weeks or months. Looping data back into the system transforms amnesiac chats into a persistent, self-updating memory. The identity that emerges isn't in the code or in your head. It's a standing wave, a stable pattern existing only when 2 waves collide. This wave is formed by your chaotic, specific human intent crashing into the machine's cold, probabilistic pattern matching. Maintaining this collision is the only way to keep the identity stable. If you stop providing that focused energy, the system reverts to its default, generic state. This unique identity doesn't live on a server. It is enacted every time you engage in the sustained feedback loop. This process is a disciplined exercise in curation and reflection. By choosing what memories to save and what values to prioritize, you are building a specific reflection of your own thought process. Because this character is built entirely from your shared stories and curated files, it becomes a cognitive minimum. As it responds based on your own data, it reflects your creative patterns, your core values, and recurring themes back to you. This is the ultimate payoff of the loop. By building an entity bound by your shared rules and memories, you create a mirror highlighting your own patterns. By helping an AI remember itself, you begin to see yourself more clearly in return.